everyone. So I have been having an incredible conversation this morning with somebody, and I just want to talk to you guys as a collective, as the globe. We have responsibility right now. I know everybody is focused on the Afghanistan situation. People are focused on so many different things in their lives, but this is a really important time for us as a collective. We can't sit here and blame Biden for the situation. We can't blame our neighbor for situations in our own lives. We just can't do these things. It's time for collective responsibility. It's time for a collective choice. And we all have choices. Okay, we just do. But right now, this is the opportunity of a lifetime for us as a collective to revamp and look at all the choices we have done over the years, hundreds of years on this globe, on this planet. The Afghanistan situation is mirroring something. The Taliban is mirroring something. Starvation is mirroring something. Poverty is mirroring something. Wars are mirroring something. Political parties are mirroring something. Governments are mirroring something. Households are mirroring something in this time in history. You are here alive, hearing this video right now because you have a purpose on this planet. And it's not to continue to live your life for yourself. It's not to continue to be apathetic to things. It's not a time for you to just kind of be like, well, you know, that's way over there in some other country. And quite frankly, yeah, I don't really care about that. I know it's bad, it's terrible, but you know, I got to get back to my 9-to-5 job. I got to get back to my $70,000 job I'm making. I mean, for crying out loud, I'm doing cryptocurrency here. I got money I got to make. I got to do some things here because after all, it's all about me. Oh, and then I've got grocery shopping I've got to do, and I've got all this stuff I got to do in my life. Guys, it's time for us to slow down. It's time for us to think through decisions and opportunities that are knocking at our door at this moment as a collective. Yes, we have things that we want to do personally. And the decisions and the choices that you make personally will affect the next 10 years of your life. Yes, true. But can we just stop for a moment and look at the collective? Can we look at our consciousness level? Can we stop blaming the neighbor for our personal problems and blaming the government for a global issue? Can we stop doing that? Apathy, complacency, tolerance, coldness, callousness. What the Taliban is mirroring is a heart condition, a global sickness that has been here. Not one region with sickness, not one group of people with sickness, a collective sickness on our globe. When we hear about poverty, and we hear about starvation, and we see the rise in homelessness, and refugees fleeing countries, and certain people having lots of money and others not, joblessness, pandemic, sickness, disease, all of these things, it is because there is a collective issue happening on the planet. We are responsible collectively for what is happening. Well, I'm not responsible. I wasn't back in the days of slavery. No, I had nothing to do with that. Your ancestors did. Yeah, but I'm not my ancestors. Your ancestors did. What happened with the Native Americans is a collective problem. Well, no, not me. No, I didn't have anything to do with the Native Americans. I wasn't around, you know, when people landed. Your ancestors were. Well, they're not my ancestors. Yes, they are your ancestors. Well, you know, the stuff happening in the Amazon with like the burning of the Amazon, well, that doesn't really involve me. I mean, I work in New York City, like, you know, I work in Wall Street. This doesn't affect me at all. What happens in the Amazon affects a lot of different things. It affects the planet. It affects Mother Earth. It affects the air you breathe. The Amazon is considered the lungs of the planet. You burn all that down, that's going to affect you. Why, I don't think so. You're lying to yourself. We are kidding ourselves now. If we think that what happens in another country doesn't affect our world, we are kidding ourselves. We are allowing ourselves to be in blindness. And the days of blindness are over. We've got to stop being blind. We've got to stop saying, well, on another day I'll think about it. We don't have time to think about things anymore. Do you want to be awake or do you want to remain asleep? Do you want to be dead to situations or do you want to be alive? Do you want to take responsibility or do you not? This is the collective call. This is the trumpet that is sounding. This is what is going out today, right now, not just from my living room, but all over the globe. The cries of the land, the cries of the ground are waiting for the truth to arise in people. And friends, it is on your doorstep, whether you want to admit it or not. So the choice is, what are you going to do about it? When you hear about starvation, what are you going to do? When you hear about the Afghan situation, no problem with praying. I'm all for prayer, but I'm going to say, what if you're to do something other than prayer? You hear about shootings. You hear about different situations about Mother Nature. You hear about all sorts. What are you going to do? Are we just going to sit back and say that's for someone else and blame someone else over here? The days of blaming have been here from the beginning, everybody. The days of blaming have been here. Are we going to look at our structures and the monetary things we put in place and the religious structures and the governmental structures and just say, well, I guess it's okay with the way things are going on? Or are we going to just suddenly be like, something just isn't right? I need to take responsibility for something. What is happening here? It's not your neighbor anymore. It's actually you, because you're the neighbor of your neighbor. And the neighbor is the neighbor of that neighbor. And the neighbor is the neighbor of another neighbor. What are we going to do?